space, it's pretty big, but what's really out there? Unimaginable wealth, advanced technologies, no more sickness, no poverty, no war. Hell, there's even gamer girl bathwater dispensers. A true utopia. But what if I told you that was all a big fat lie? In space, there's only really one power: money. You see, ethics and morals don't buy thermonuclear warheads. Money does. You can't bribe officials to ignore your illegal drug empire with common decency. No. Fat stacks of cash gets you that. And if you run into an officer with troublesome integrity, well, simply ambush him whenever his ship leaves the spaceport and have a meaningful dialogue with him. And when the authorities find his wrecked carcass of a ship in space, the bribed officers will call it an accident. In space, there is no law, no intergalactic agreements on piracy or even crime, and best of all, on warfare. You see, in space, there is no Geneva Convention, no rules of engagement, and most importantly, no non-combatants. That's right, there are no rules of war. No longer are we shackled by the demagogues in The Hague. If a planet doesn't do what the hell you tell them to, simply commence a saturation bombardment of the entire fucking surface, making that planet of billions of souls into a simple giant glass ornament. Fighting a superior force of enemies, simply get a fuel tanker, fill it with highly explosive antimatter fuel, propel said ship into the center of the enemy force, overload the fusion reactor, turning the shit heap of a ship into a budget thermonuclear device. If some other drug lord is getting in on your market, you should obviously kill him, but sadly we can't fuck him up because he's got a huge ship with a lot of guns. Simply target his family. And that's not it. Space is also an anarcho-capitalist wet dream. You name it, there's a market for it. Drugs, human organ trade, highly illegal AIs, anything your heart desires, the market will provide. And you know what they say, if you can't beat the market, join the market. Welcome to Starsector. Starsector is a space combat role-playing exploration economic game. Wow, that's a lot of titles, but let me boil it down. In Starsector, you can role-play a Somali space pirate who's also an explorer and somewhat of a stock trader. But don't worry, he's not actually a real stock trader, he's a mod on Wall Street bets. Let me paint a picture for you. In the distant future, humanity has ejaculated itself all over the Milky Way. Left, right, center, humans. Big ones, small ones, hell, there's even different colored ones like Pokemon. Things are all in all pretty good. Humanity uses gates to travel from one star to their desired location, thousands of light years away. Life without these gates is completely unthinkable. Luckily, since they are so important, they are very well maintained and therefore completely and they're gone. And well, to put it mildly, shit got seriously fucked up. We find ourselves in the Persian sector. With the gate collapse, things quickly take a turn for the worse. War, crime, piracy, a total breakdown of society, generally pretty shit. But don't worry, the Hegemony is here to save the day. Unfortunately, if you or your planet doesn't agree with the Hegemony, you risk a bit of the old seasonal outbreak of planet-wide nuclear Armageddon. There's also the Persian League, a kleptocratic oligarchy wherein the only real goal is to get those sweet credits. To them, every crisis, natural disaster, conflict, civil war, humanitarian catastrophe is merely viewed as a new business opportunity. Then there's Tritachyon, your friendly neighborhood evil megacorporation dealing in human experiments, illegal murder AIs, and some pretty cursed experiments. We can't forget about the Luddic Church, who believe technology is evil and wrong. They are generally pretty chill, however their Luddic path is very much not chill. They seek to remove technology by debate, and by debate I mean debating how to maximize their ID's kill count in a hospital. They use terror to remove any and all they deem heretical. You got a pacemaker there, buddy? You're fucking gone. What's that? Chemotherapy for kids with cancer? Not on my watch. Imagine Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge in space, and that's basically the Luddic path. There's also pirates and some independents, but they don't do much. Finally, there's the Syndrian Dictat, a military dictatorship founded by a disgruntled megalomaniac military officer who views his own people as a new race, stronger and better than others, and believes in conquering more living space for his people. And those who disagree are sent to camps. Oh, I wonder if you like painting too. There you have it, this beautiful sector filled to the brim with war-cripped, misunderstood people. You've got your setting, now time to make your character. You can level up different skills, piloting, leadership, science, and industry. Most help either your fleet, your officers, your own ship, or your planets. Now, when you start out, your fleet will probably be just one ship in a star system filled with rocks, big rocks, and a giant rock on fire. In these systems, you can find planets and stations to trade with and buy ships. Inside each system is a purple asshole called a jump point that takes you to hyperspace, when you can travel to other systems. Pretty easy to understand. You've got fuel and supplies. You need fuel to, well, fly. Supplies to repair ships, keep the crew combat ready. On the map of this sector, you can see civilized space called the Core, home to different factions and generally a place filled with somewhat law-abiding people, also called suckers. Outside the Core, that's where the real opportunities arise. The Outworlders, as some call them, are home to a plethora of different types of people. We've got pirates, corsairs, terrorists, and so on. Now, core world propaganda would have you believe these people are quote-unquote bad people, but I like to call them good customers. You see, several of the core world factions have illegal commodities like AI's military-grade war machines, drugs, among others, but Outworlders pay a pretty penny for these things, and of course, we have to address the elephant in the room. Is arming pirates and terrorists with military-grade weapons morally correct? Well, all my moral doubts are quickly smothered in the mountains of cash. The Outworlds are also home to many unexplored systems that hold many secrets of the ancient world.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
Go out and survey the crazy planets out there. You might even find a schematic of age-old technology, or even colonize a nice planet and make a new home for degenerates everywhere. From here, you can basically do anything you want. Go out and get a piece of the pie, that is the lucrative drug trade, and get that bread. Fight pirates or even become a privateer for one of the factions and liberate people's possessions from them. And by liberate, I mean steal, and by possessions, I mean their organs. No matter where you want to go to space, there's a lot you need to know, like weapons and stuff, so you don't die. Also, how to get a good deal on newly harvested human organs. We don't want to sell them for cheap. What do you think we are, a charity?
That's not my problem. It's yours.
Now, you're probably wondering, how do you go from A to B in space? There are a lot of different methods, but I like to use ships, and there sure are a fuck ton of them. From big dummy mommy battleships to tiny bottom energy frigates, each can be customized with a dump truck sized amount of weapons and hull mods. Missiles that split into even smaller missiles, or remove those pesky safety controls on your ship's systems, cranking every little bit of juice out of that bad boy. Warning, this may or may not lead to death by reactor overload. Quite frankly, the amount of ships coupled with the weapons and hull mods mean there is a never-ending amount of customization. But hang on, what's better, a railgun that can punch through 10 meters of solid rolled homogeneous steel armor, or one angry red boy?
That's a lot of damage!
All ships have shields, then armor, and lastly, hull. If the hull reaches 0, you die. Most weapons are effective at countering one of these types: high explosive, kinetic energy, and lastly, fragmentation. If you fire your weapons or your shield takes damage, it will generate flux. Flux acts like heat, and if the flux bar gets to the top, it will overload your ship's systems, and well, you become a sitting duck. After a fight, you can salvage ships damaged or destroyed in the battle. However, they have a D-mod. Something very wrong with the ship. It might be, you know, something casual like fucked up life support systems, causing the crew to unexpectedly expire, or something catastrophic like malfunctioning comms, which sadly make it impossible to play your favorite game, Genshin Impact. Oh, the horror. You control one ship, meanwhile the AI controls the rest of your fleet. You can give them orders and they follow them most of the time, unless the captain of the vessel has the aggressive trait, wherein he will take it upon himself to ram your very expensive ship into the center of the enemy fleet. And now for the crux of the game, the economy, supply and demand, baby. If your local druggies don't get what they need, they'll become very sad. And when you say sad, addicted man, I hear free money. Planets need an assortment of different goods, and if they don't get them, the price of said goods will increase. That means this intricate system is susceptible to good old market manipulation. Now picture this. A system is getting raided by pirates and the planets aren't getting their food shipments. Oh no, a lot of other people could starve. How terrible. And then you swoop in, a hero, a savior, carrying a suspiciously large shipment of food. The people love you, the faction loves you, and you earn a very nice payday because, as good man Machiavelli once said, one man's humanitarian crisis is another man's business venture. He said that right next to the part about killing people to achieve your goals. All in all, a pretty stand-up guy. And there you have it. All that for just 15 freedom tokens, a pretty good deal. Every day I stray further from God, so please subscribe for more content.
Welcome, Moon and Star.
At some point.